Hello everyone, it's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo for another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous State of the Game. And we're going to start off by talking about the contest. Now, I originally wanted to do this just as a short video standing in front of my set, my green screen, and the camera. I can't say the word because this is a family show, but it messed up again. And it's starting to aggravate me. I'm just going to use my friend's camera. My friend left his camera here a while ago, and I'm just going to use it and see if I can get by for a little bit. But I want to thank you all. I'm up to $400 for the new camera. That's a great deal. But more importantly, let's talk about the contest. So I have to give away a Aegis Dynamics A3G Vanguard. Sorry about the dramatic pauses there. I hurt my back real bad, and I'm trying to talk between a little pain in my back. So I came up with a contest, and I'm going to bounce it off you. And then if it takes, we're going to start this up within the next week and a half. Now, I plan on having 6 sessions, 1 hour apiece, where people could come in and go in for 20 minutes at a time and join us, 2 of my friends from the Enablers, and myself in an 8-person free flight inside of the PTU or the live universe. Hopefully the PTU will go live this week before this contest starts so we could do the 8-person free flight. And then inside of free flight, you're going to have a challenge. I'm going to hide my 2 protectors from the Enablers are going to set out to, protect me. And then the 6 of you that come into the match or into the free flight are going to attempt to find me and kill me. Just for entering the contest, which means showing up in one of the 6 sessions, you get an entry to win the Vanguard. If you manage to kill me, you get another one. Okay, another entry to win the Vanguard. And then we'll have a random drawing, and I'm hoping that Gerald Schott, Wilhelm Strumer, I don't know his real name in real life, is my contest editor. I guess that's what we call him. And he will help me get all the names of people that have entered and all the entries that they have. And then the second week of June, we will give away the Vanguard as a big thank you for helping me reach 2,500 subscribers. Thank you so much, folks. I think this is going to go off well. I'll write it down and put it hopefully in the we'll put it in the show thread in the fan sites portion of the RSI forums. And we'll tell you exactly how and when and what this contest is going to be. So we're still working out the particulars, but I think it's going to be fun. Somebody had mentioned that we should probably do a treasure hunt or something to get you entered. So anyone that submits something for the treasure hunt gets an entry, and anyone that actually gets the treasure hunt right gets to come in and fight me and go for a second entry. But we'll figure this one out as it goes. And I just like the whole interactive piece of it and the opportunity for me to actually be able to film it. There is one handicap for me, though. I will be in an M50 and I will have no weapons at all. I will not be able to defend myself. Only my 2 defenders will be able to. So if you guys work together, if you come in as teams, that might be good. But remember, it's everyone for themselves because there's only one Vanguard. And I really want to give it away this time. So tell me if you like this idea. If you do, we will take suggestions in the show notes below on what we can do to make it even better. Okay? All right, let's move on. So I want to start off this next piece by saying I fully support, with not just me saying I support, but with the dollars and cents that I put into it, the game that Eric and Rob and the rest at Descendant Studios are making, and that would be Descent Underground. This is not going to be about Descent Underground. This is about Star Citizen. And it's going to be about something that I like about Star Citizen and something that was negatively said by them, but I am not calling them out because I fully support them and I understand what they're saying, but it just hit me in the wrong way because it's what I like about Star Citizen. And essentially what they were talking about was gameplay. And they were talking about power-ups and they were talking about what the ships can do and they were talking about tools, and they were talking about a whole bunch of things. But one thing that Eric said is that one thing he hated about Star Citizen is that blacking out isn't fun. Well, blacking out is realistic. And the game that Eric is making is not realistic. I put it into the same category as World of Tanks, World of Warships, and War Thunder. It's a fun game, and his game is going to be kick-butt fun. And I wouldn't compare the two games because the two different genres are for two different times, right? I like to play War Thunder, and I love to come into Star Citizen and live in the universe and be part of it. So I know they weren't ranking on Star Citizen. It just made me start thinking about how much I like the realism and how challenging it is and how it is making me strive to be better and strive to actually learn the different ships. And I really, really, really like the part of the game that is realistic, from the physics models to the ship models to how things are going to work. Everything from mining to moving cargo to the way that you age and the way that you degrade your body inside of Star Citizen, I'm looking forward to. In the same breath, I could say I'm also looking forward to Eric's game, but for what he said wasn't fun, was the most fun for me. Take, for instance, this. I'm playing some music now, which you're not going to hear, and I get this nice little drink, and I drink it. We're in the PTU, by the way. And it makes the colors go crazy. I'm like, this is just wild. I've never drank from that bottle, I guess. It gives you a different kind of high. Kind of wonderful, right? So realism made me start thinking about some other things. I've been looking at my hangar for quite a bit. Not just inside the hangar like we are here, but also on the hangar page. And I'm realizing that there's quite a number of ships in my hangar, in my inventory. And it's making me think, am I going to use every single one of them? And there are so many of them, right? I've got everything from Avengers and Auroras and Mustang Betas to Freelancers and whole A's and Super Hornets and big giant ships like Carrack. Well, not big giant, but big ships like a Carrack or a Constellation or a Retaliator, and racing ships like the M50 and the 350R. And I'm beginning to realize the parts of the game I play. I have a lot of ships. I have a lot of ships that I'm probably not going to use that often. So it's making me think, what do I want to do with them? Which ships am I going to be in the most? And I'm starting to answer that question very simply. They're going to be the ones I have the most fun in. And the ones I've been having the most fun in lately have been the Super Hornet, the Mustang Delta, the Gladius, the fighters. And it's mainly because of the social aspect of the game right now. It really is putting you into ships that fight each other, and you can meet up inside of the free flight mode of either the live or PTU universe. And I've been having a ripping good time meeting up with my friends. But the ships that are giving me the least amount of fun are the ships that you actually just do things on your own. And that would be like the racing. Now, there are going to be racing events that we're going to have. I'll never give up my M50. But I'm beginning to look at my 350R. And although I love the sleek lines of it, I can't see me getting into racing so much that the 350 is going to make sense to me. So comes in the updates that are going to happen on the website in the near future. The new way to CCU ships. You tell it what ship you want to CCU, and you tell it what ship you want, and then it will kick back a value in either US dollars, euros, British pounds, or whatever currency you're using to get the ship upgrade. And I'm looking, and I've got quite a few ships that I'm going to keep, like that Beta and that Super Hornet and that Gladius, but I have quite a few ships that I probably won't keep. And I'm looking forward to this big change in CCU in the near future. And like I said, this has made me think about what ships I really want. So that made me take a step back. Well, if it's socializing in the game that I really like, then why don't I get a bigger ship? And that's a good question. Why don't I get a bigger ship? So I've been thinking. And I've got a couple of ships that I don't know if I'm actually going to use. I've got that 350R. That's 150, right? I've got an Avenger, which I really like, but I'm not having that much fun with. And I'll probably hold on to until the variants come out and they do something with the sucker punch cannons to make them work. But that might be melted. And it makes me think, am I actually going to melt these two ships even though I've melted them before and asked for them back? And I guess the answer to that question is time will tell. But I'm very intrigued that they're actually giving us a new way to do this. So we don't have to take multiple upgrades, and those are multiple times that you have to buy things and stop and say, am I doing the right thing? It's now going to be one instant before you hit that button that says upgrade this ship to a new one. So you really need to think hard as to what you want to do and what you want to be inside this realistic universe. I see myself as being an explorer. I see myself as being an entrepreneur. I see myself as being a mercenary and a bounty hunter. So I think those are the things that I'm going to focus on, and those are the ships that I'm going to keep. And that leads me to this. Let's move on to the next piece. I think of Wayne and Garth going diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo whenever I make a transition. But I guess that's not what I'm here for now. I'm not going back in time. I'm actually in the present. Here's one of the ships that I was most excited about getting, and I just brought it up. It's an Avenger. And the Avenger is a ship that tells a tale. And it tells a tale of how things change over time. The ship was offered in one of their sales a couple of years ago, and I jumped on it because it looked marvelous. It was a beautiful ship, and back then I was also very, very, very into the 325A, which I'm not as into anymore, though I probably would like the 325A a lot more than this Avenger at this point. And what I did is I bought this ship and I just kept it away. And every time something new came up, I decide to melt it, but before I melted it, I go out, take a look at it, walk around it, sit in it, and go, no, they're going to do something nice with the ship. And then they came out with the PBR model. And the PBR model was just gorgeous, although some things were wrong with it, some clipping and some other things. And then nothing for a while. And then Arena Commander came out, and the first manual stated that coming soon, you'd be able to fly your Avenger. And then that came to pass, and it didn't happen. And then finally, somewhere along the line, we were able to fly it. And it just didn't perform. It didn't deliver for me. And I know many people like the Avenger. They love it. It's their ship. And I don't disagree with you. But after flying ships like the 325A, the Gladius, even the Gladiator with how big and slow and lack of maneuverability it has, it's still something I find myself flying more than this ship. So what's the issue? Well, a lot of the other ships right now have had their time. They've been fixed, they've been updated, they've been made to work, and mainly because they're going to be working inside of Squadron 42. And this isn't a Squadron 42 ship. This is just a ship that is going to be in the PU, and it's task specific. It's a bounty hunter ship. Currently, we don't have any other variants, but it's a bounty hunter ship, and the bounty hunter system is not in the game at this point. So I keep looking at it and I keep wondering, what are they going to do? And I keep holding on to it. It would have been easy this past weekend to burn it and then just reinvest the money into a Hull B. And it's not something I did. I passed on that. And I keep looking at it and thinking, well, what are the variants going to be? What are they going to do with this? And I wonder, how many of you have a ship that you look at, that you have in your hangar, or something that you look at on the page that you keep waiting for something to happen to, and it just doesn't. I got the same feeling with the Cutlass, and I burnt my Cutlass. But I didn't burn this ship because this ship just looks so gorgeous. And I'm wondering, when is it going to happen? When are they going to deliver on this? So I know, am I going to keep it or am I going to burn it or melt it, per se? So those are my thoughts today. So some of them, like the contest, it's exciting and it's hopefully something that y'all want to take part in. Other things, reality, I love the realism in the game. I can't wait until we have to load our own cargo and move things around, and we're warping around and quantum driving around the solar systems. And then about the ships in your hangar. Which ones are your favorites? Which ones do you have, but you don't know if you're going to use and are just too scared to get rid of at this point? I have a lot of thoughts on my head about this. And with the game coming at us like a steamroller at this point, it'll be out by Christmas. Well, at least Squadron 42 will. I'm thinking that we're going to know a lot more by then. But tonight, it's Monday. And the sale is almost over. The sale of the hull A and the hull B, the hull C, the hull D. And I keep looking at these ships wondering, should I burn them? And the only reason I don't is because I already have LTI on this ship and my 350R. And the ones that are being offered right now are not packages. So I could always CCU. And that's the hidden gem. The new CCU process will make it easier for you to hang on to the ships that you don't know about and then upgrade from them to something else later on. Those are my thoughts, guys. I hope they fall in line with a little bit of what you're thinking. Getting excited that there's a lot coming out. FPS will be out soon. Social module right after that. And then it's full steam ahead to Gamescom when I predict 2.0 will come out. And we'll be in our multiplayer fun, manning our constellations and our freelancers and our cutlasses with full troops and full complement of crew, playing Capture the Idris and doing the things that we'll be doing in the real live PU when it finally comes out. All right, folks, that's what I have for you. Just to give you an update, I'm in meetings this week, so SCAA will come out on Friday, as will 5 for Ben Lesnick, which we now affectionately call Ben's Day with Batgirl and Ben. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.